board, so I don't go through the whole agenda and let everybody report. We just kind of discuss things that maybe just the executive board can discuss. And then at 1 o'clock, we, go through the agenda, which of course I didn't bring. So anyway, but we go through each officer reporting, their reports.
When you just come to your last, I have meeting notes.
Yeah, we can do that too. Then I will start off by saying I spent the morning in a focus group at the district office, and that was really interesting, talking about what Greenville County schools can do to improve and their strengths and their weaknesses.
How big a group was it?
Sorry?
How big a group was it?
Probably about
Ask me if I thought you'd like to be
15, 12, maybe 12. Kelly
you know
Corbin
who
was there, Missy Latham, and a lot of other, about 10 other PTA presidents.
Are they curious as to how everything was going over here?
Yeah, I mean, I was sticking to the special ed, topics, but it's interesting, all the high school debate and all the charter school, everything, really, but that was interesting. So, do you want to start by telling us about your idea about the path?
Oh, okay. One of the concerns that some of us have in Washington State is that if you look at the playground equipment out there, it's not particularly age appropriate for our older kids. Swings and sandbox and stuff like that. And so one of the things we did first was we called Melissa Burns, who's a dear friend of mine, next door, and asked her if maybe our kids could use that there as a track occasionally. And she said, sure, you need to aid before 11 o'clock, just let me know. So we're going to do that. But there's also this area behind the Washington Center's lower playground that actually was at one time an outdoor classroom and belongs to Sarah Collins, technically. But I thought, I bet we could get a group that'd be interested in clearing that out and making a footpath that we could, or a path that we could take kids out, like for a little nature trail or something. It would not be big, but it'd be, But I thought that might be something older kids would enjoy, and the younger kids, we could take them out and do it. So I don't know that any of you were around, but when they built the school way back then, there was a lot of controversy because Sarah Collins had two buildings, one on the site Washington Center and one on the current site, and they felt like they would be involved with their property. That's what it was. I mean, it's a big to do, and I certainly don't want to stir that up again, and Melissa, of course, don't either. So then actually Ann Poole made the suggestion, said, why don't you see if the Washington Center PTA folks would be interested in collaborating with Sarah Collins PTA, and it would be a joint effort to, somehow renovate that area and make it something useful for the kids. So I called Melissa, she liked the idea, and she actually called me back yesterday and said, now when were you planning to do this? Because she said, our PTA is pretty much allocated all their money for the year, and we really don't have funds. And I said, that we have meeting tomorrow, y'all would discuss it. I didn't know if you wanted to consider it. But I said, if we do, I wasn't thinking about jumping out there and trying to do it this year, but the thoughts I have had are these. One is that what Ann Poole had suggested, we need to get somebody to do a plan. So that would be one of the landscape places or something like that. And then they used to get the one of the Greenville civic groups that would come in and do a lot of landscaping and help and so forth. So I thought about trying to pursue it that way. Lowe's, Sarah Collins just got a $5,000 grant for landscaping and so forth, and I thought we ought to apply for that too, because that would be one place we could get some money. And then yesterday, the Leadership Greenville people came for a tour, and I was saying that we were interested in just finding things that were more age appropriate for the older kids, and talked about that back area, and they said that would be a great Leadership Greenville project for next year. Why don't you all apply? So that's another possibility. And then at the principal's meeting this week, the lady this is with the organization called Something Trees, and if we get in touch with them, they'll come plant trees. We have to water. But I thought, that group might be interested. So I think there are groups. In other words, I don't think we're talking about a huge financial expense. I think if we pursue it, we could get some help with that. And if Sarah Collins, is interested, and again, I have to go back and say, technically, the way they cut that property off, they just cut off Washington Center, so it's directly behind us. And Sarah Collins is over here, but it's still Sarah Collins. Of course, everybody I've mentioned that to has said it is school district property, and that's true.
It is true.
they are such nice people over there. I don't want to
Yeah,
think we're
right.
trying to encourage.
If we do it together as a joint, like.
Well, they could use
joint
it too.
PTA.
Yeah.
Now, is there any thought of maybe like having a paved path, or is it just, you think it would be?
If for
rustic?
wheelchairs, it would have to be paid.
Yeah.
And that was the first thing
And
Melissa
that would be
said. She said,
expensive.
you can't take chairs back there.
Yeah.
You know, it's probably, good night, no, I went on the pumpkin patch trip. Rode my back pushing wheelchairs, but, and again, this is just an idea to see if that's something you all would be interested in. I don't know whether you might have a contact with the PTA person, over at Sarah Collins, and might like to just discuss it and see if there's any, interest in it. I think Melissa has already discussed it some with some people, but it's just a thought, something, and again, it didn't have to be done immediately at all. But another thing is we've been talking about, and Heather's been involved in this, pursuing the Spirit Day thing with, the high school. Just putting in an application with all of them, because if you really put in the application, you don't have to do a presentation or anything unless you're chosen to do it. And so, but you need to know specifically what you're asking for. You can't just say, well, give us as much money as you will.
You filled that out for Hillcrest.
Yeah, no, we just did it, like,
What,
3 years ago for Hillcrest. So I will say that one of the questions they asked is, how often have you received money and how recently? And so they definitely look at that, I know. But of course, Meyer Center, I think, has done it a bunch.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it's
Myers
Myers
definitely-
Center does it every year.
Yeah, they said that to every high school.
Good thing,
Okay.
if you
Yeah.
don't mind sending Barbara that, because they use the same application
Yeah.
for every school.
Yeah,
And half of the schools are coming up at the end of March.
okay,
Like Riverside, Eastside, all the ones that have the Spirit Week
Yeah.
in the fall, their applications are due the end of March. Or the
Beginning of
beginning of
April,
April.
but I think they would love this idea of forming a nature path. I mean, that type thing, I think they would groove
Could be
on.
something we specifically apply for.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
but,
it does it asks, how is this money going to
Right.
be used?
It's a
So
very-
we do
yeah.
have a plan.
that application I thought was in the president's notebook. But I can look through it and see.
I'll look through it and see.
Yeah.
And I mean, I guess too, before we could really do that, we would have to, have some rough idea of what it would cost.
Yeah.
I think paving would be your biggest.
Yeah,
But I mean,
well, we might be able to get someone to donate the supplies, and then it's just a labor. But
I think it's a great idea.
I do too.
I love it. Yeah.
And yeah, that's the only problem was with Hillcrest. They only let us have 10% of their proceeds.
Yeah, they
Well,
say,
all the schools will be like that.
yeah, all the schools will be like that. They say
Yeah.
Greenville County School cannot give another Greenville County school the big money.
Which is crazy.
But we got
because
$8,000.
mine's in Greenville County.
We did. I mean, that's good money. It was great.
We were
Yeah.
thrilled.
We were very
You know,
thrilled.
Something that Coach Robert actually brought up with me yesterday, and because he's the one that changes our sign outside, is maybe, the thought of getting electronic signs for both campuses, because I mean, with the technology going up and
Yeah,
up
most
and
schools
up.
have gone to electronic.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've talked about them, we've talked about, a sound system for the school. And so that we can stream things, cause like when we have graduation, most people don't get to come, cause we don't have room. And so we'd like to stream them and so that was another thought we had as far as what to ask for. Now, I think Jennifer, you did get a price on what that would cost, but then she was able to successfully, Jennifer's really smart, she was successfully able to stream what was going on at Washington Center over here for something recently, so we thought, well, do we really need to get another system? We wanna start a morning news show so that the kids, can go somewhere and they can see themselves and each other on the screen. So that's the kind of system we're looking for, and so that was the other thing that we had thought about pursuing, but all of those things are possible, just take some time, we got our scan box fixed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does, but $5,000 would go a long way for if we could get one of those Lowe's
Yeah.
brands.
That would
And the tree lady says, we need some trees in our front area, that kind of thing. And it sounded like they will donate those, that you just have to agree to, and water.
Yeah, I think it's the place that Mary Andrews Memorial, like you could make a memorial for Mary Andrews to that company.
Oh,
I
really?
think her best friend's on the board.
And the trees?
Yes. My friend's on the board too, but it's like people donate and then they go and plant the trees.
Is that how that works?
Mhm.
Okay, this
So
is,
you donate, like
Okay.
they
That would be
take
nice.
money to So other people in the community donate the trees and then they,
This is,
Plant them.
the lady's last name was Teachy, is that the same group?
I think so,
It must be, there couldn't be two of those, but,
yeah.
anyway, I thought that was, I'm definitely gonna call her and see what's involved. That makes sense, because otherwise that would be a huge experience.
Okay. So do you wanna work together?
I can make a copy of
or
that
do
in
you
a little
wanna-
bit, yeah, I'll make a copy of that, yeah.
Is there a copy of yours?
Yes, do you
How
want
many
it
do you
now or do
need?
you want?
Well, before one. Think we're gonna have anybody else come.
Natasha's not coming.
You just
Ten?
last in there. Unless if does anybody want a copy of the checklist or is everybody still have it?
Somewhere. Well, another thing I wanted to talk about was, okay, the walk. First of all, we need to, really work on getting the parents involved in, we sent them all a sponsor letter home in November. And I guess we need to send out registration forms soon, before. But we also, anyway, I was thinking about the phone tree too, like really encouraging parents to get involved. But, and to just register for the walk. But then once spring break, everybody comes back, maybe we start reminding parents that you don't have to register, but we really want your body out there, to, show up.
So do you want me to put something on Friday afternoon saying, when is the form gonna go?
Well, I could send a registration form out next week to everybody. Could do
Okay,
that.
cause so
Yeah,
I could
next
say,
week, and
send it out.
Probably
If
would be
they want a
good so
t-shirt,
that they
buy
could be back in before spring break.
April. Yeah, well, yeah, they really need.
You know, that gives them 2 weeks, really.
Yeah,
I mean, I think the sooner when it's fresh on your brain,
yeah. So I will send out a registration form to everybody next week, and then
Okay, and I'll,
follow it
Friday
up.
afternoon, well, I'll do it Friday afternoon,
If
so
it's
it's coming,
coming
so
or-
watch for it.
Look in your child's book bag,
And
and
if
then,
for any reason you don't register in advance, we still want you to come or something. But see, that
yeah,
opens the
well,
door for
wait
that.
until after spring
Yeah.
break to start
Okay,
telling
for the
them,
week before.
even if you didn't pay or register, we still want you to come,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. Yeah, I wanna encourage more families to be there, cause I had a sponsor ask me the other day, and there are gonna be kids from Washington Center there, and I'm like, yeah.
Well, I did announce it at principal's meeting, and I just said, somebody did a printout, I don't know if it was Linda Hill or Denise or who, that had all the home-based schools of every one of our children, and they grouped them by schools, like all the kids that are home-based Greenville High, all the kids that are home-based Buena Vista, whatever. And it was really, almost every school that was here was represented, so I said to principals, we have your kids, we're serving your children, and we would love for you to be involved in some way in what your children are doing at Washington Center. And one or two principals, and I mentioned about walking along, one or two principals said, what was that date, what time?
Yeah.
So, I don't know, that'll get an interest in that. Listen,
Well, and then that leads into another thing, is about these parents, is we have really got to start getting, before you know it, it's gonna be the end of the school year, we've got to talk about a board for next year.
Oh,
We can't
talk
do this
about that
forever.
now.
We gotta get some of these
I
young
was gonna
parents,
say, what about
these
some
new
of
parents.
y'all's parents?
Do y'all know any parents that you
What about
think?
Andrew's parents, they're very involved and stuff.
I mean, Andrew's mom works for the school districts, but his dad goes out of town a lot. But I mean, I think that they would be more than willing to help.
I think they're more the ones that would help financially
Yes.
more than labor.
Well, y'all can think
We
about
need
it.
the labor.
Well, financial's good, but.
Yes,
Yeah.
financial is good.
And financial.
We need some boots on the ground.
We're getting a little worn out.
Yeah, I know.
We can actually put that when people, they have the IEP meeting, for their kids to come to Washington D.C. Center, we could say, I'm here, you're willing to work at the PTA.
Yeah, you need to have a separate sheet.
Yeah.
And how are you gonna help us if we accept your child? No.
Maybe some of the parents, like some of the new kids maybe next year. Brody's mom maybe.
She has triplets now.
I know. I'm like thinking of
Yeah.
That's hard work.
Yeah, I know all these.
And they're quite interesting, cause one will be our student, so she'll still have the other two.
Yeah.
And they're not, and none of the three are potty trained.
How old are they?
They are
15.
3 right now.
Wow.
She's gonna be 3 coming in. Yeah, so she.
I still wanna get Susie Robinson involved, and, but I know her little boy, but he's getting older,
Yeah.
so.
Does he start daycare next year?
He does. If he starts school, that would be for
Yeah.
maybe 4-year-old maybe. Christian Morgan, whatever.
They're, I think they pulled him out to,
Oh, they did.
for homebound.
Okay. Just thinking,
Well, Melanie kind of came in now.
whatever happened to Melanie? She was enthusiastic.
Oh, nurse one,
Okay.
our church.
I'll ask Karen if she's interested.
Oh, sorry.
She can come in on a monthly, this could be like once a week.
That'll get you answered.
In Chesapeake there.
Karen,
What is she?
she's the nurse, she does all the Medicaid billing for the school district.
What is Andrew's mother's name?
Karen
Karen
McDaniel.
Yeah, is it- and that's what she does? Oh, okay. I don't
Yeah,
know.
she
That's
works with
right, I didn't
Kathy
know that.
Story
I didn't.
at the
Kathy
team.
would let her take her lunch and come.
I know, yeah,
She would.
I'll ask, I'll let you know. I maybe
Just
Ian
trying to cover for y'all. I'm gonna be gone soon. No, I'm just kidding. No,
Really, y'all got a few years, but
Yeah,
what is she,
3 more years.
3, only 3?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I thought it really.
She'll be 18 in May.
I was getting ready to say, I thought she was 18, so that's.
Mm-hmm.
Javen's mom, Javen McGee.
Mhm.
Well, y'all can talk with them and see. And really, you know, I was being facetious about putting it on any kind of form, but when, at IEP meetings, I think that is a good time when you're talking about it, is that, you know, that we kind of are a family, and this is one way you could be a part of it, is to bring on the PTA as much of it as you want. So I think it'd be good to bring that up.
Yeah.
And maybe even at our annual reviews, you know, just throw that out, you know, if there's something you might be interested in doing. But some people are probably, you know, just a bit reticent because they think y'all do such a great job, but you gotta remember, you don't need that help or something. That's the burden of competence.
I know, we're just kind of, I don't know, Carla asked me the other day about, what was it, the lunch? I totally forgot about the lunch. Like, oh
Oh, was
yeah.
that yesterday? Oh, yesterday, right?
Yesterday.
And me too. Obviously, I'm texting you that I didn't forget that I was in charge, you know, but I forgot about the whole
Well, I
money
forgot
thing.
about it. Going to pay for it.
Well, at some point, when it gets new blood, we're gonna have to stop doing some of this lunches, and, I mean, the school's gonna suffer. if we
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
get some new blood in there.
so, and that was one other thing, and maybe that leads into the next thing of, well, I don't know if it's 1 o'clock. I guess this is more
5 minutes.
general stuff. We could talk about general stuff. What did y'all think of Natasha's?
I got to the first paragraph.
I mean, I did talk to her about
Chick-fil-A
dates.
is all
What
I
is it?
know.
About dates.
Oh, I'm not sure I wanna read that.
Yeah.
It's just,
But, she said March 25th is fine.
Is she gonna be able to do
a
it?
Chick-fil-A lunch, yes.
Yeah, 'cause that's
And
what
she
the
would like
teachers
one
had
other person.
so not the 18th, we're gonna do the 25th.
25th.
Well, the 18th.
We have a
I got
lunch.
the thing
That's
about the
the-
Don Clardy thing,
Yeah, the
right?
Don Clardy,
Okay.
lawyer, and I wanna go to that.
The Don
That sounds
Clardy.
really good, yeah.
Well, we actually have an appointment the next week with Renee Tedrick
Okay,
to do Katie's guardianship
Does she
papers.
work with him or no?
No.
so Don Clardy is the 18th now.
I'm
Now,
curious
staff lunch
to
is
ask-
now the 20th.
And
I'd
he
like
is
to ask
the-
Don Clardy what his retainer fee is.
And he's paying for lunch for you guys.
Yes,
It is.
Jason
Well, let's get it
Deli.
from somewhere
Well, if he
else.
gets one client, they'll pay for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, is this retainer fee, you think it's,
I don't know, I'd like to know what
Well,
it
we
is.
got all of our stuff done, including living will trust, special needs trust, and everything. It was like $1,500, $2,000. Really
No.
wasn't too bad.
The guardianship.
This was the special needs trust.
No,
right,
we
to
did
attach
that.
to our will.
No, we did all that and it was cheap too, but,
Yeah.
but no, the guardianship is different. They
And
have to go to court, they have to send a social worker to your house and look at your living situation, even like they're gonna send one to Katie's, you know.
What would
They
you
have to
charge
have
some
an
age?
attorney serve papers to Katie.
Is that at 18?
Mm-hmm, that's for 18.
Oh, okay.
We had
Yeah.
somebody serve papers to one of our students this week.
Yeah, you have to like completely cut them off. Pretty like I know when Jean did Jacobs, like you
Yeah.
have to like you can't leave them anything, and then you kind of will. They have to be like completely.
You set up a separate bank account in their name, but you are the guardian on the bank account, so you balance it, you know, and their social security checks are deposited straight into that account. That account can never have more than $2,000. But I'm gonna come anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
So this is for all of
Tommy's
them,
only
when they
13,
turn
so-
18, you have to do this
All of it.
guardianship.
Okay.
Well, the thing is, I don't think you can, well, if they're verbal at all,
Yeah, well, Catherine's not,
and,
so,
well, Katie's not either,
yeah,
but if they can even shake their head,
no, we can't do that.
they say, I know, and Katie doesn't hardly, but then the thing is too, I think you have to have guardianship to do their financial things. So,
Okay.
And he does that, I guess, Don Clardy does guardianship.
well, I'm sure.
He said he had some new information
But,
too,
you know,
that there's
Yeah.
some federal legislation.
Sharon did tell me.
Oh, well, there are able accounts, yeah,
Yeah.
our financial advisor wants to meet with us about that too, so.
That's one of the things he wants to talk about.
And that's what, yeah, I'm hoping Bland can come.
Our stuff
because-
is more like will, like.
Yeah.
Our will.
I've got all that,
And then
the
goes
special
into
needs,
trust. And
if something happens to you, it goes into a trust.
Yeah.
Special needs.
yeah, that's what we got. I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
13. I'm not
You're gonna
there
need
yet.
it, you're gonna need it for him, cause he
I know.
can shake his head and,
Well, but
It's,
he shakes his head, but it's not meaningful.
but what gets me is, I mean, it's expensive, the guardianship, it's gonna be $3,000.
Just fill it on paper, put it on.
Has to do, it's like-
Really? Well, he may,
well, Renee Tedrick's retainer fee is $2,000, that's how I met with Don Clark's retainer fee is.
and I don't know anything about it at all, but I know Anita Davis has some kind of legal arrangement or is aware of a company that assists with that somehow, so, you know, I just see what she's got going. Anyway, he's gonna come Friday week to meet with me and have lunch and talk about, you know, things that you all specifically would want him to hit on, so if you have suggestions, tell me. He just wants to be prepared and know a little bit more about the population and the kids that are served and so forth, and so we're
I
gonna,
think the biggest thing is the guardianship that most people remain unaware of and how it works with
And I guess the difference then between the guardianship and
the special needs trust and the able accounts and how they interact with the
Yeah.
special needs trust. 'Cause-
Most parents are like, what happens if both of us die? Who takes care of our child? You know?
well, cause right now too, I always thought a special needs trust was something you went ahead and did,
Mhm.
but you don't do it until you die.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's kind of set
Yeah.
up. You can, it's there, but it's not really
there,
there.
Yeah,
right,
I did, yeah, we
Yeah.
did learn that.
yeah, I think there's a lot of confusion about that.
he had mentioned the able accounts.
I don't think I'm all this.
And you all know that we have the palliative care people we scheduled for April 15th.
Right,
It goes to April 15th.
yes,
I believe that's right.
Is that going to be a breakfast in the morning?
Yes.
Tommy's birthday?
Tax day.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was Easter Sunday, Tommy's birthday, and tax day. The day he was born.
Yes.
8:30 or do we have time?
yeah, I thought it was
8:30.
8:30.
Yeah, it was 8:30
Yeah.
last time, yeah.
Okay, so we got all that down.
So now, staff lunch, are we doing the 25th? Have you gotten anything that evening?
Carl probably doesn't wanna work it, but you know.
I can't work it that day, actually. I would if I could, but I have something.
I'll
at
check my
lunch.
calendar and see if I can.
I might work it. So we are doing it the 25th.
Yeah, put down March 25th for Chick-fil-A, and let's go ahead and tell her we will just round. How about that?
Yeah, 'cause
You
she's
got
You got your lunch
Three
yesterday, right? I just need to get
And
some
six.
money,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's me, yeah,
Yeah.
I
Sign
forgot to
Souls.
put it in the box.
That's
yesterday.
okay,
Salad at
that's all right, it's 6:50.
6:50.
Yeah.
with
I
chips
would
and
just
Coke
round
and
everything up since it's in the upper you know,
So staff lunch, Chick-fil-A, we need workers then, right? Another need.
Natasha will be one, right? One person. She
Yes.
will be there.
she's,
Okay.
Oh,
she
she's gonna
told
be
me
there?
she will be there,
Okay, so that's
That's
her
first
first
roll
back.
yeah,
This year.
that's
No,
fine.
I truly,
I
I
can call
truly,
her.
I did look and I would help. I have an appointment at 11 till 1 that day, so.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're doing the 25th. I can help her if she can't find anybody. I think. Came out the door without my calendar again. Okay, do we wanna go down the walk stuff one more time?
So we're starting the meeting.
Yeah.
Should we start the meeting? It's
It's
1
at
o'clock.
the one,